How's it going, everyone? I'm King Blacktooth. Welcome to the guide for Soldier 76. So some of his strengths are that he's a very good, well-rounded offense hero. He's got a nice set of tools. He was made for people who have already played first-person shooters, so he is very accessible in that way. His primary weapon, his rifle, allows him to be effective at any range. He can do sustained damage from close, medium or far range. However, he prefers mid to long range encounters. Close range encounters can be won, but a large portion of the cast can do more damage per shot than you can, so it can be a bit problematic. You want to use your bionic field to help you out in those situations. He has high mobility with his sprint. He's able to move around the battlefield really nice and quickly. He can move around the back of people and try and surprise them, which is a good tactic in tandem with your ultimate. When he does die, he actually stays out of the fight for less time because you can run to the front line a lot faster than other characters could do. And it's also very good for when you hear certain key sound effects like Bastion or McCree's ultimate, you can quickly run behind cover or around corners. He's also very good at solo and team support. Now if you're playing alone and you're with groups that aren't very organised, picking Soldier 76 with his well-roundedness and his bionic field, which is an area of effect heal, you can keep yourself alive and win encounters, which is very good. Now obviously I wholly support that you use your bionic field to help your teammates, but if it's all a bit sporadic, you can at least use it on yourself and on the payloads and on the capture points and just win encounters and win skirmishes. So all in all, he's a very simple character to play, simple character to pick up. He is difficult to master. If you get headshots very nicely, then you're going to do a lot more damage and start winning a lot more encounters, and your kills are going to go up sky high. So some of his weaknesses are, because he is a well-rounded character, he doesn't have any big oomph specialization move. He's just a well-rounded set of tools. So the next thing is close quarters spacing. If you get caught in tight corridors against a large portion of the cast, you'll probably lose. They've got more damage per hit than you have for most of the part. It's harder to get headshots when they're running really close to you. You want to use bionic fields to win these encounters and try and stay close to health packs and stuff like that. Soldier 76 doesn't have any vertical movement, so although he has his sprint, you're going to have to use the stairs, the elevators, and go long way rounds rather than going over things. So he could be a bit slow there, which is fair enough. Now his ultimate is also less impactful than other offense hero ultimates. So it's basically an auto aim where you just aim in the general vicinity and all your bullets will hit. The problem is that your damage doesn't actually go up, it's just that all your bullets are going to hit. So your damage does go up, but your bullets damage doesn't go up. If you had a very high hit rate anyway, then it's not going to increase your damage. There are some negatives to the ultimate. One, it doesn't go through shields and it doesn't go through bubbles, just like it didn't used to. Doesn't target turrets, and actually it's very annoying when you're trying to kill a turret and it targets some other guy that you don't want, who's ducking in and out of cover. And also it always aims for the body, so it's going to be a lot more difficult to kill certain characters like Reinhardt and Winston, because it's going to aim for the body and it'll soak up all your bullets.
Enemy turret ahead.
As Soldier, your primary weapon is the heavy pulse rifle. It has about 25 ammo, shoots 10 rounds per second, which is approximately 2.5 seconds to empty your clip. The damage is 5 to 17 because you've got body shots and headshots. Headshots do a lot more damage, so it's always good to try and go for them. But obviously you're more likely to miss. At long range, you want to shoot in short bursts of about 4 or 5 bullets. Unless they're on low health and you can just spray. Because after about 5 bullets, your reticle expands and you're less accurate with the weapon. So do short, sharp bursts if you're trying to go for headshots of about 4 or 5 bullets. So as a soldier, you mostly want to utilise his primary weapon by ducking in and out of cover and providing covering fire, as well as pinpointing enemies that you can try and take down. So you want to dash out of cover, try and get some headshots and kill somebody, and then duck back into cover, reload, and drop a bionic field if you took damage. while doing a little skirmish. So as a soldier, you're a primary candidate to take down annoying characters like Pharah, who are flying quite high up. Other sniper classes can do that too, but I think it's your job as well because you've got such a long range weapon that deals good damage. Bigger characters like Winston, Roadhog and Reinhardt, these you can sustain your fire on because their hitboxes are a lot bigger as well as their heads. So it's harder to miss.
There's two in the house.
The Biotic Field is Soldier 76's area of effect heal. It allows him to do solo and team support. It heals 40 health per second for 5 seconds, which is 200 health, which happens to be your full health, which is nice. Now it is line of sight based, so make sure you don't drop it and then run around a corner, otherwise you won't get any benefit from it, and that goes for your teammates as well. You can actually put it on higher elevated positions, providing you can still see it. So on a little ledge, then drop down. It does kind of vertically, it's fine. It doesn't matter as long as it doesn't block line of sight like it's on a ledge or something. So this works really well when you're carrying a payload. You can jump on the payload and then drop it down and it will move with the payload, which is really nice. Obviously you want to kind of use it as well to help all your teammates, but especially teammates like Mercy and Reinhardt and those who don't have self-heals of their own. You're going to use this to try and win encounters that you might come up against 1v1 and stuff like that. And it's really good to place down in control points as well. So your Helix rockets are your next attack. They count as a single hit projectile and it does 120 damage, which is a nice chunk if you hit directly. If you hit the floor around them, it does have a bit of a radius and the damage falls off the further away they are. You can hurt yourself with this particular move, so be careful about that. You do get a little bit of a jump. If you're fighting fast people like Tracer or Lucio, then you want to hit the floor or the wall they might be close to guarantee some damage on them. If you encounter a setup Bastion that's shooting everyone, a Helix rocket and some bullets are an excellent way to kill him, to finish him off. I like to do the Helix rockets first so that he doesn't know that I'm shooting him until it's too late. Other characters though that are just running around, I like to do the Helix rocket at the end because then I know that I'm going to kill them with it, rather than I hit them with the Helix rocket first and then they managing to heal or they manage to run away. Doing the Helix rocket late means they don't have chance to quickly get that heal off or run away because they think they can still win. You can also use this to disrupt certain sniper spots, which is really nice. Soldier 76 has a sprint, which is an indefinite run that you can just hold down, like most first-person shooters nowadays. It allows him to get to the front of the line again pretty quick when he's died, so he doesn't necessarily rely on people like Symmetra to help him get forward or Lucio. It's obviously always nice, but he's a character which can get to the front line quite quickly. You can also use it to move around the battlefield very nicely, scout areas, help with support, get health packs quicker, flank enemies. So he's a very mobile character and he's good for that reason. He can chase after opponents as well. When you hear certain sound effects, you can duck in and out of cover, like Bastion's ultimate and stuff like that. And if he gets hit, he can quickly run and get some health packs, which I think you should be using if your Biotic Field is in cooldown. Soldier 76's ultimate, Tactical Visor, will give you an auto-aim that will automatically make your bullets and Helix rockets hit the nearest opponent to your targeting reticule. This is a great way to take out fast opponents like Lucio and Tracer, and it works really well against average characters as well, like Torbjorn, Mercy, McCree, Reaper as well. Now if you're running low on bullets, so you have not many in your clip, when you use your Tactical Visor, it will give you an automatic reload for free. And all shots will hit the body, so you actually can't do headshots. So this is actually a bad thing. So it's going to be very hard to kill Reinhardt, Roadhog or Winston with this because they're just going to soak up your bullets because they're all body shots. I've got you in my sights. One of the things you want to try and avoid is if there's loads of enemies on the screen, you don't want to hit them all a little bit, you want to focus on one. So don't wildly move the camera, you want to focus on one and get him dead. If you hit loads of them a little bit, they'll be alerted to your presence and you won't kill anyone. Also, you can't go through shields or bubbles, so it's another reason why Winston and Reinhardt are not effective targets for your ultimate. So in this section, I'm just going to go over how generally Soldier 76 fares against the rest of the cast, each individually. Now, I have put up some good matchups and some bad matchups at the top and bottom of the screen. Now, all of this has to be taken with a grain of salt because the game is very team orientated. There's a lot of combinations going on, heals, shields, loads of stuff. So this is not really, it's hard to discuss this, but that's hopefully what I'm going to go over in detail. Any tips and tricks that you can do to take down certain characters. So the first character is Reaper. Now, Reaper is a very tough character. If you meet him close range, he's probably going to try and flank the team, the party quite a lot. So be careful when you're walking through corridors, through buildings, because if you meet him, you're probably going to die in about 2 shots. He's very, very good in that way. But just try and keep him at range when you do know he's there. Try and kill him before he manages to sneak around. If you see him being invincible, try and chase after him if possible, but don't go out of your way. And sometimes a lot of clever ones will go invincible to health packs, in which case you need to disengage quite quickly because you're inside a building then and he's got nearly full health. So you need to disengage at that point. Try and run off to a safe distance and prepare for when he might come out, and just warn your teammates that he's there. Reinhardt is considered a bad matchup for Soldier 76. You have to take this with a bit of salt because he's never normally going to be alone in this sort of situation. However, the reason for this is that you can't really do anything against his shield. You can't get over it, you can't get round it, unless you take him completely by surprise. And even so, you're not going to be able to kill him, completely by surprise, unless he's completely oblivious to you. Your ultimate won't really kill him in time. It takes a lot of damage to kill this guy, and you don't really have that. But he's going to charge you. If he's focused on you and he decides to charge you, he's got one chance. Generally quite easy to see, but then he's going to be right next to you, most likely. The best optimal time is if he charges you, you avoid it, and then you're shooting him as he goes by. Helix rocket as he smashes into the wall. And then, if he is low health and he puts his shield back up, don't be afraid to reload, run into the shield and shoot him and melee him. If he's on low health, don't try and get through his shield, just kill him off, But he's 1v1, there's not much you can do against the guy unless he makes a big mistake. If you meet him in a tight corridor, you're going to die. Now, the problem is that he's normally going to have people either healing him, he's going to be protecting someone who does more damage. So, obviously, I'll talk about that later, but for now, he's pretty bad for you. You've just got to shoot the shield with the team and hope, as a team, to take him down.
I've got you in my sights.
Winston is a character which looks to be kind of a bad matchup, but I think generally it's about neutral, using maths. So, he's also a very heavy HP character, so your ultimate is not going to be very good against him. Obviously, you want to hit him as much as possible, but he can put down a shield and completely stop it as well. So, your ultimate is not very effective. Now, the reason he seems quite bad is because he can jump at you, and then he's never going to miss, and he's got so much health that you're probably just going to die. However, using maths, you can out DPS him if you put down a biotic field and you hit him with a full clip. Then you could probably bring him down. You should have got some shots off on him as he was jumping towards you, and if you don't get headshots and you don't miss, you can still out DPS him with a biotic field on. So if he does his ultimate though, you're probably going to die. It's just a very it's a scary thing to have happen, but I think if you just concentrate on hitting him, you should kill him before he kills you. And generally you're not his prime target. Usually you normally go for someone a bit more dangerous, like a healer or a sniper or someone like that, I think. So Genji is considered quite a difficult matchup for Soldier 76. I didn't put him down on the list, although he's very close to being on the list. You've just got to play smart. He's going to reflect your bullets, so just try and bait that. And he's going to probably slash through you, which is going to throw off your aiming. But just try and predict this, throw down a biotic field, and then try and aim at him. Aim your helix rockets at the floor. He's a great target for your ultimate. However, if he starts reflecting, it's going to be a bit of a waste in that situation. If he does his ultimate on you, you're probably dead. So he is a very strong person to counter Soldier 76 actually. Pharah is an excellent target for you. You should be aiming at Pharah when she flies up in the air. This is a perfect thing for you to do. Now, if she's aiming at you, you're probably going to take quite a bit of damage because a rocket can do a hell of a lot of damage to you, and she's going to have the height advantage, so she's going to hit you on the floor. She is a great person to use your ultimate against. Take her out of the pictures. They can be very, very good. Pharah's, she's like really one of the good characters. So just be careful. You obviously want to try and kill her before she uses her ultimate. Anytime you see her in the air, you've got to try and take her out as priority, really. Try and stay away from tight corridors or stairways where she can hit you with relative ease using her rockets. And remember to fire in bursts against this person. You want to try and get some nice headshots. So Junkrat is a character which you obviously want to stay out of indoor spaces, tight corridors, stairways, stuff like that. You want to be careful of his traps as well. I think putting him in stairways is a good plan. He can obviously get the high ground. You try not to let him do that. Try and get on an even footing with him. But you don't have much health, so stray grenades are dangerous to you. Try and keep him at mid to far range, and if possible have a height advantage against him. He's an excellent target for your ultimate as well. You are an excellent person to get rid of his ultimate. If his ultimate, you can start hearing it coming, you want to be on the lookout. You're a great person to try and take that down before it hits anyone. So just be aware of that.
I've got you in my sights.
And he is the type of character to try and fire wildly over ledges and into control spaces that you need to defend. So just be aware of that as well. Zenyatta is a pretty weak healer character. He can do reasonable damage if he catches you, especially if he's charged it up. So try and keep him at far range. You can engage him in close range. You can actually chase after him pretty easily with your sprint. So if he is alone, it's definitely one that you should go for and try and kill pretty quickly. Now Roadhog is a very difficult character for you to kill as Soldier 76. He's got a lot of health and he's got really good healing on his fuel that he can drink. He can actually out heal some of your DPS if you're getting body shots. If you've got your ultimate or whatever, he's going to absorb so much of it because you're only getting body shots. And he's going to be ducking in and out of cover. Don't follow him, whatever you do, unless he's on very, very low health. But even if he is, if he manages to get away for more than a second, he's probably going to have over half health if he manages to drink some fuel. So be very cautious about chasing after him too harshly. He's an easy target for your Helix rockets, but it won't do too much damage out of his big chunk. It will do reasonable, but not so much. So just try and keep him at ranged. Try not to engage him in tight corridors. Harass him. Notify your party if he does duck into somewhere. And try not to get grappled from control points. They have a habit. This game is very orientated around control points, payloads, being in certain spots, helping objectives. So eventually you are going to get caught by a grapple. And if you do, then you're probably going to die. Lucio is one of the more agile of the healers. He can obviously speed round corners and stuff like that. And he's also got some pretty nice healing. His ultimate adds a lot of shield onto everyone that is in line of sight of him. So if that happens, then it's best to probably just disengage. Or if it's just him, you can keep probably trying to shoot him. Just try and take it down a little bit faster. But Soldier 76 is a good character to try and take Lucio down because you can fight at any range. And mid to far range, Lucio's got no chance because you can dodge his bullets. At close range, he's got his bullets don't do too much damage. They do a little bit, but they are dodgeable and it's hard to hit. Stay mobile, really. And he's got his pushback move, which does a reasonable amount of damage, but it can knock you off. So be careful, because there's quite a few maps which have control points which are situated near ledges and stuff. So be very careful about that. Try and keep you back to somewhere safe in those situations. So Torbjorn is actually a pretty good character for you to come across. His turrets, they do a reasonable amount of damage, but you want to use cover and just duck out, Helix rocket, a couple more shots, and it'll be dead faster than he can repair it, really. As a character himself, his weaponry is not too scary for you. You've got Biotic Field to sort of heal over whatever he can do. If he uses his ultimate, then he does become a lot more scary, but there's not many times that you see. You shouldn't really be engaging that closely to him, in my opinion. So it shouldn't be too deadly for you. Your ultimate is good to pick him off. Now, citation needed on this, but I think your ultimate doesn't actually target turrets. So if he's got a turret down, it's actually difficult to attack it if you've activated your visor. So just be aware of that. Citation needed. I'm pretty sure it happened to me. But it could just be me being a fool. So Devar is actually quite a troublesome one to face. She's got quite a bit of health, and when she's inside her mech she can deflect bullets, which is quite a bit of a pain, especially if you've activated your ultra, so just be wary of that. Now when she gets out of a mech, say you destroy the mech, which the best way to do that is to just kind of like bring her down slowly, and if she's focusing on someone else, just hammer with everything you've got. Helix rocket and shots all over the place. But when she's out of a mech, she's quite an agile person. It's best to try and get her, predict when she's coming out and try and kill her. She's a good target for your ultimate in that case. But if she does her ultimate on you, which is the exploding bomb, you've got good mobility. You can probably avoid that pretty easily, duck behind cover. It's line of sight based, so you can just go around a corner. May's ice block actually counts as line of sight, so if she does that to protect herself, you can run behind that. So generally she shouldn't be too much of a problem. She's just a bit of a team player, so it's sort of difficult to sort of deal with her because she's always going to have sort of backup with her, I think. Tracer is a very hit and miss character to face. A lot of people say you're good against Tracer. I feel like they're saying that because it's just your ultimate they're putting into that category. Your ultimate is amazing against Tracer, no doubt, but you're not going to have your ultimate all the time. You've got a very spray, you can spray your bullets, so obviously you will hit her. I think it is hard to actually finish her off because she's going to, dash into cover, or she's going to rewind time so she gets it all back and then just slowly whittle you down. If she manages to flank you and surprise you, then she can burst you down really quickly because you've got pretty low health yourself. So it is a pretty hit and miss character to fight against, but I think you've got to try as Soldier. You've got to give it a good go. Helix rocket the floor, use your ultimate if possible. Yeah, she's a tricky one. Now McCree is very much like Reaper, I find, in this sort of matchup. He's a dangerous one. When he's very, very close, he'll just flash bang you and 2 shots and you're dead. And unload his whole clip on you. And he's a bit more effective at fire range, though. He can do some pretty good stuff. When he's got High Noon, his ultimate, then you've got to duck behind cover as well. I think it's probably best to do that, which shouldn't be too hard. Obviously, you've got your heal to try and sustain him, but it's a general fight where you want to keep him mid-screen to further away if possible. Your ultimate will be good against him as well, of course. Speaking of which, Mercy is obviously a character which is hard to say 1v1. She won't win many fights. She'll have backup, most likely. The main thing you've got to worry about with her is that she's going to fly away. You've got to predict that. She'll try and do that if she's got allies with her to try and protect herself. She's a good target for ultimate as well. Helix rocket her or the floor, you can wherever you feel confident in. And just try and kill her off. She's probably one of your primary targets, as well as some of the other healers. Some of the other healers are not as easy to kill as her. She hasn't got any self-healing, so if she's near a payload, though, she'll get healed by that. If they've got another healer, she'll get healed by that. She might take care of... she might use medics, packs and stuff. But she hasn't got any self-healing, so try and take her out. It's a good idea. Now, Mei is a character that I always seem to fight really close, and I just get obliterated. It's a character that you will not win 1v1 at all. Okay, so if you manage to start to win, she'll just heal, ice block, she'll do a wall, run away, or whatever. But most of the time, she'll be able to freeze you way before you can actually finish her off. Obviously, the strategy is you want to keep her at range, harass her, stuff like that. But the game obviously takes place in a lot of control points, payloads, and this. And you kind of have to run in to actively take these things. So sometimes you are dealing with a Mei. And if so, you've got to try and run away. Don't try and engage her, really, unless you're helping a teammate and you think you've got her from behind. Just try and try and kill her. She's a good target for your ultimate, but if she ice blocks, it's a waste. So just be careful of that. Try and use your ultimate after she's ice blocked, maybe. The Widowmaker is a character which I put onto the bad matches because she's a risk. Every time you engage her, it's a risk, unless it's massively close. And even then, it's a bit of a risk. Because although you can compete in a ranged game, it's a lot more riskier to you, in my opinion. She's got a very peek out of cover, hide back into cover, peek out of cover, hide back into cover. And you never know quite whether she can see you through walls, so she can anticipate your movement. Because you'll be shooting her, you'll have to shoot her a couple of times, a couple of burst fires to kill her. Whereas if she gets a headshot on you, that's it, you're gone. So it's always a risk to fight against her, and it's a very dangerous game. An excellent character to use your ultimate on, but you have to make sure that she doesn't duck behind cover or it's going to be a fail. You can use your Helix Rocket in this situation with your ultimate to try and get a big damage there quick. And then she won't know she's got hit until it's too late there. The same goes for Hanzo. He's going to be a character which is a risk to play against because he's got a very peek and hide style of play which is not very good for you, and he can headshot you pretty quickly, he can see where you are, these types of things. He's a very agile character as well, and he's got the ricochet bullet, so if you're in a tight corridor, it can do a lot of damage as well. A good target for ultimate. Zayra, I consider a bad matchup for Soldier 76. Now, she doesn't do too much damage, but you're going to shoot her and she's going to do a bubble, or she's going to bubble a teammate. And then, obviously, you want to stop firing. If you fired a Helix Rocket into a bubble, then you're dead, pretty much. She can do a lot of damage to you, and she's got so much health, and you have to stop shooting her. It is a very difficult matchup, I feel. So, try not to engage her alone. Try and take it as part of a team. If you do see her alone, unless she's on low, probably, shoot her, make her use the bubbles, then disengage. Now, she might be a good target for ultimate. I don't think so. She'll absorb a lot of bullets, and you don't want to shoot her when she's got a bubble on. So, not a great target for ultimate, really, I think. And you can't really escape her ultimate with your sprint. Other characters can. Genji can roll out of it. McCree can roll out of it. But you can't really sprint out of her ultimate. So you're stuck there. Now, Bastion is also a bit of a 50-50, a bit like Tracer, really. If he's not in his gun mode, then it's probably a win for you, I would say. He has got a heal, but he's obviously got to stand there while he does it, so that's really easy for Helix, rockets and stuff. Now, if he is in his gun turret mode, his machine mode, then it's 50-50. If he catches you unawares, you're dead instantly. If you catch him unawares, then you can kill him pretty quickly with just a Helix Rocket and a couple of shots, and he'll be dead before he has any chance to react. Now, if he does notice you're there, you could duck out of cover, Helix Rocket, duck back in, jump out, and shoot as he starts panicking to get out or heal. But it's always a risk. Obviously, I think it is a good thing for Soldier to do, because it's not necessarily your job to take him out, but I think you can actually do it pretty easily. You just got to be careful. Pop down a preemptive biotic field. The thing about Bastions is they're never normally alone. So he's normally going to be protected by Reinhardt or a healer. So if they do actually have a situation where it's a Reinhardt and a Bastion, there's not much you can do. You can't get round, you can't get over. The best thing you can do, if the situation arises, is if you manage to flank them, go for the Bastion, try and kill him, and then the Reinhardt shouldn't be too hard. And finally, the last character, Symmetra. She's a character which I think you win pretty easily. Obviously, the only time that you probably won't win is if you walk into a trap where she's got a lot of lasers and then she starts shooting you. Or possibly that you're distracted by something else. I think she puts her lasers down in either protecting a Torbjorn turret, which is a very good combination, or she puts it down near health packs so that when you go to get one, because you're on low life, they start taking damage. So that's a really good tactic too. So be careful about that. But other than that, I think you should win this at close or far range. So Overwatch is a very team-orientated game. So Obviously, single matchups are nice and fine, but unrealistic. There's a couple of combo characters which seem to work well together, which you see, which are quite common. And the first one is Reinhardt and Bastion. If you see that duo together, as Soldier 76, there's not much you can do at all. It's not like you can get around or above the shield. If you get him from the back because you happen to be a flanking position, then the best thing you can do, I think, is try and kill the Bastion with a Helix rocket and a couple of shots and hope that the Reinhardt doesn't notice you in time. It's not really an ultimate worthy thing because it does take longer to kill them. It's not worth it. The probably other thing you can do if you have to face them front on is use cover so that Bastion can't find you, can't see you, can't shoot you, and Reinhardt's shield is still in your view. So you need to shoot his shield without being shot. And then just whittle down the shield, and as a team, try and get rid of them after the shield is gone. The next combo I've been seeing is Mei and Zayra. I think they're both very difficult characters for Soldier 76. If you see that combo coming towards you, Zayra likes to pop a buff to Mei because everyone knows Mei is a high priority target. So you'll be shooting Mei, she'll ice block, Zayra will get loads of damage. You know, it's just a pain really. So if you see that, basically you're just going to have to back off. I mean, it's just the way it is. And as a team, you're going to have to try and kill them separately. But it's not something you can deal with. Maybe you can fire a rocket into Zayra and try and get her to use a bubble or something like that. But other than that, you just got to back off on that combo. Take them on from distance, harass them, and hopefully take them down as a team. So characters which work well with Soldier 76 are Reinhardt or Winston. Anything with like a bubble where you can sort of move out of cover and get a better advantage over your opponents and take more sustained shots at them. Because Soldier 76 really excels in sustained mid-range fight, which I think Reinhardt and Winston both provide with their bubbles. Mercy is also a very good one to have with you. If she puts the damage buff on you and you've got your ultimate, it really gives you a lot more damage for your buck. It's a very good move combo to do. She buffs you and you do your ultimate and you get kills a lot faster. It's really good. Also, as an added bonus, if you have a Zenyatta on your team, if he disharmony orbs somebody, then it's a good idea to shoot that target because you will get the kill a lot faster, and you can do it at any range. So it's a really good idea to try and kill the one that he's picked out. Hopefully he's picking out good targets for you to kill. You might even be able to take down some of the heavier hitters with relative, not ease, but you know, a lot more ease than you normally would. So it might be a good idea to try and go for those too. Helix rocket the big ones because they're generally quite slow. So now I just want to go over how 76 fares on some of the different maps and modes that he could play on. In general, Soldier 76 is a very well-rounded character. He's very versatile, very agile, very mobile. He's got a lot of versatility, so he could do well on any of these modes. But sometimes a different character would be better suited. So let's go through them. So in general, assault maps, where you have to assault 2 points, one in after the other, he works quite well because he's going to be sitting at the sort of mid-range, shooting into the fray as the teammates are going in. And he's able to pick people off that might be running away or hiding. And he does quite well because he doesn't have to get too close. Because after you get the point, you move on to the next one. The Hanamura map is a map which does have quite a few open spaces, a couple of balconies, which are usually well defended. So he's got to push his way in if he wants to do that. And then he might be able to flank, but there are some other people which work better on this map. A few more explosions, a bit more chaos in this sort of area is usually useful. But he can work really well. You know, he's just got to take his time, really. Don't push too hard, otherwise you will die. Temple of Anubis. This, again, has quite a lot of tight corridors, I think, in this one. So he's probably not best suited here. There's not much space for flanking. So people like Reaper might be a lot better, fairer. People with bombs in this one will probably fare a lot better than he will. Volskaya Industries, this is a good one. There's a lot of open spaces in this one. So it's really nice if you're on the offense to take this. If you're on the defense, he also does pretty well because you can take people down as they're running in. and he can situation himself a little bit away from the control point, but just sort of stop people coming through gates and then retreat back onto the control point and control people. So he works well on Volskaya Industries. Right, control maps. Generally, he doesn't work too well against these. He's got good support, so he can place down his biotic field, which will work well for the team. However, it's a bit too close usually, so he's either not going to be on the control point entirely, or he's going to be on the very edge and trying to shoot out. And sometimes it can get a bit too chaotic in there that he doesn't help as much. He likes the skirmish game, really, in these sort of maps. Ilios is a one which I don't think he works too well on. There's a lot of pushing and shoving. There's a lot of pitfalls. And I think it's a bit more... You need someone either a bit more melee-oriented, a bit close range, or you need someone with pushing and pulling abilities, control spaces like May and like Roadhog. So he's not necessarily a character you'd use on this map. I think you'd use other characters. Lijiang Towers is another really bad one for him. Very tight spaces when you get onto the control point, and the control point is pretty small. So he's going to have a hard time being in there. You want someone with a bit more close range damage like Roadhog or Reaper to deal with this one. Or May. So he's not that good. The only way he'd be any good is obviously biotic field and maybe shooting people as they're getting out of the control point. So if there's like a Pharaoh shooting in or a Junkrat, he can probably pick them off. But it is always a bit chaotic for him. So Nepal is a reasonable one for you. There's a few tight corridors, but for the most part you'll be sitting in this sort of area where you can start shooting people as they're coming round, and as a team you can sort of keep it. So this one's not too claustrophobic for Soldier 76, and he can provide nice biotic field heals to the rest of the party. So not a bad one for him, this one. So escort missions, he excels pretty well. He's a very good character to sort of create the endless skirmish that a payload sort of provides. So you can put your biotic field onto the payload, you get healed by being near the payload. He can use it as cover, and it just creates an endless skirmish of mid-range fight, which is kind of what he excels at. So really good escort player character. Obviously you want to be careful of snipers on this map. There's quite a few areas where snipers are going to happen in Dorado, but he should be able to deal with them. There's quite a few stairways you can get into position and shoot some people. So Gibraltar is another one where it all kind of relays down to the mid-range fight. There's not too many long-range fights because there's a lot of corners every now and then. There's like a dip going down and a dip going up. So he works quite well, I think, in this particular map. Route 66 is also a map which works quite well. There's a lot of there's a couple of key situations where there's a skirmish here, and if you manage to pull them back, then you'll get to this section here. So the first one is obviously that train wreck graveyard there, and then the next one is going into the diner, and all these sort of situations work well. He can pick off certain characters as he walks forward. Hybrid ones are where you have to capture a control point and then do a payload. The control point works well. You'll want to stay back and skirmish in this area and let your teammates move forward, and then when you've captured it, you're back into a payload one, which is nice for him. The Hollywood set, Kings Row and Numbani all have good areas where you can sort of keep moving forward with the payload, and they provide nice enough cover. So generally he works well on most hybrid maps. Thanks for watching, everyone. That's the end of the guide for Soldier 76. I know that he's one of the simpler characters to play. I'm going to try and go for a harder one next time, a more difficult one to play. But thanks for listening to me. I know it's been a lot of time me just talking, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Back in my day, we'd have this payload delivered already.